Welcome back. My name is Kyla P. Barnes. I am your financial chef and coach with Ingles Art and Finance. Check me out online at www.gingles. Let me say that one more time. It's www.onegingles.com. We have been having some really amazing conversations these past few months, actually this year. And I am bringing on a one of one amazing guest that I think is the good stuff. You're the good stuff, girl. This is my actual blood sister, my rival accomplice when I was younger growing up. This is the person who led me to seek the church as an adult and also to understand what it's like to find your identity outside of the homescape. And in finding your identity, you would then find what your purpose is. My guest for today is Kyra Contreras Barnes. Did I say it right?
Yeah, it's Contreras, but
Contreras. Okay,
we're
Contreras
all a work in
Barnes.
progress.
We are all a work in progress. And this is a very unique call. This is the first time in which we are having one of our dynamic conversations recorded. As you, the listener, may have listened to previous podcasts that I have put out there in the world, most of these conversations I'm having anyway. Like Kyra, yourself, your amazing friend that you meet wherever you meet them, to have a substantial conversation you can chew on, you can eat on, and then later you can say, I am better because I had that conversation. So with that, I'm going to bring on my guest, Kyra. Can you hear me?
I can. Thank you for that broad, fantastic, amazing, time-changing introduction. I totally appreciate that from you. Yes, and so I want to get right into it because you started running out the gate talking about purpose. I mean, already, I'm
Let's
trying to
go.
sit
Let's
here,
hit it.
drink up my
Let's hit it.
water.
Let's hit it. They don't know. They don't know. We go up. We go up. We wake up on 10. They don't know. They don't know, Kyra. They don't know, Kyra, that we wake up on 10. We be like, Jesus, thank you. Thank you, Jesus. Girl, we will tear this house up. I'm just saying, girl. They don't know we wake up like that. My friends sometimes tell me, I'm sorry. I would like to say for the record to all the listeners, I am encroaching upon Kyra's time, but I'm going to turn the floor back over to you because we wake up on 10. Okay, you go.
Yes, and sometimes it feel like -10. I'll be honest with you.
Girl. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it feel like that too. But I want to delve into that purpose, right? Because I think in order to understand something, you have to know where do you start with it, right? And so
Okay.
let's start with that P. And I think every day that P represents a different part of your life, a different part of our thinking, right?
Okay.
And so I know the topic for this, session is, dangerous thinking
Mm-hmm.
and how the effects of it can affect your family, your business, and even your relationships. And I think when you started off with that P, I mean, you just set me right in position. I felt like somebody just gave me the ball and said, just run.
Run with it. Run with it. Well, actually, the topic was supposed to be dangerous thinking, but where we are right now, I feel in space is connecting people's mental health with their financial health and then looking at the decisions thereafter. So the word for the day and consistency of all the other podcasts is actually dangerous thoughts. When I mention purpose, I mentioned that mainly because all of this should be in alignment to that goal, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so that makes you wonder, okay, what is my goal? Right? Because yesterday's goal may not be today's goal. And sometimes it feels like you're closer to the goal, right? But is that a feeling you're living on, or is that active evidence? And that's
Mm.
where it becomes dangerous right there.
Mm.
Because if we can't differentiate if this is a feeling or if this is the actual evidence that I'm closer, then there's a problem, right? Because
Mm.
then we begin to wonder, okay, well, if I look at it from this angle, it looks like this. And then some people are like, well, if you go get this, it's going to really tell you. And then we run to the store, we go to Walmart, we go Kroger, Amazon, Temu, Shein, whatever we can get. We got to figure out, okay, what's going to get me closer to this goal? And so one of the ways to chase away those dangerous thoughts is to focus on the evidence and not the feelings.
The evidence, but not the feelings.
Let that land.
Okay. All right. The evidence, but not the feeling. Okay. So
yes, the evidence.
What would be evidential for somebody to say that this is a body of evidence that I can rely on, and it's not a feeling based or a hope based series? Or is hope also evidence too?
That. Well, you're going to make me pull out my task bucket.
Girl, pull it on out.
Pull it
on out.
We don't want to go there. Okay. And
so, you don't want to go there.
So if I can be honest, and I'm just taking away all the intangibles, hope is an intangible. It's part of faith.
Yep.
Right? And so evidence is not an intangible. Evidence is tangible. I see it.
Okay.
Right. Hope gets you to the tangible.
Right.
So it's an ingredient. Like we're mixing this, and I need some hope. I need some faith. Right. But when I'm looking at my goal, when I'm trying to see how I'm going to get there, it's not going to be my hope, because hope is intangible. Hope is ambiguity. Hope is ambiguous. But what I'm looking at is my evidence. What's my evidence? Okay. What's my goal? Okay. If my goal is, I want to make, $50,000 more this year than I did last year. Okay. So that's my goal. I want to make $50,000 more. Okay. Hope is, I'm hoping 10 more clients are going to call me today. Hope is, I'm hoping, that I'm going to connect with these people, and they're going to connect me to that person, and boom, 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 boom. That's my hope. It's all my faith. Right. But my evidence is I've scheduled 5 meetings with 5 people that have influence that can connect me and get my name out there to that one person. That's my evidence.
Ooh.
My evidence is getting me closer. So all those, and so that's the business side of it.
Okay.
Walk me down that line, down that lane, right? Because hope is like, let's put it with family. Hope. Let's put some hope with some family, right? Man, we got this tree. Woo, and it's got a lot of leaves on it. If nobody don't come here and get these leaves off the ground, do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna be out here. My back gonna be hurting.
Oh, Lord.
My kneecaps.
I know that's right.
My shins. Everything is just gonna be hurting.
Okay.
It's gonna be excruciating. So I'm hoping that somebody's gonna see me, because that's my hope. Somebody's gonna see me. But my evidence is, I'm gonna call 5 people and see if y'all can come over here for 5-10 minutes. Maybe can you spare me 45 minutes and help me just, get this front part? That's my evidence. And as business people, as leaders, when you're expecting things, it's so easy to sit in that seat of hope. And it just causes a lot of ambiguity, and you have to shift that and say, okay, what's my evidence here?
Okay.
What can I do to make a change?
Okay.
To make an impact.
An impact. So then evidence would require action and faith and hope and vision.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
And if somebody would say they have those and they're not seeing the evidence as a result, where's the disconnect?
Yes. Ready for that. Love that question.
She said, I'm ready for that.
Yes. Come through. The disconnection is, what are you declaring? Right? Because what they say, closed mouths don't get fed. So you got to open up your mouth. So whether you're going to call somebody to bring them and tell them, hey, I need some help out here with these leaves, or whether I'm going to schedule a business call, to, connect with some new leads. That's awesome. Okay. But then on the other side of that is what happens when it's still not hitting. That means that it's something that I'm speaking that's impeding my brain from acknowledging that this could happen. That's science. Like I'm that science girl. I love science.
Okay.
6 years of all this debt. Like I'm using this.
I know that's right.
We're gonna bring all this in, right?
Bring it.
So science teaches us that your reticulating activating system, which is your RAS, begins to look for that what you declare or that what you see.
Really?
Yeah. Science, reticulating activating system. And so it's like, you could buy a brown Mercedes, or you could buy a brown Civic. Let's use that Civic, right?
Okay.
You buy your brown Civic. You ain't even thinking about nobody with a brown Civic. It's like, just driving. You see all these other cars. You don't even pay attention. Once you get that brown Civic, you cannot tell me when you're on the road, you don't notice all the other brown Civics. Your brain has been activated. Your brain, follow the science. I follow science.
Okay.
I follow science. And so your brain is activated. Your brain is looking for it. So when there's a disconnect, it's like you are literally in the elevator and you're pushing 1 and 3 at the same time.
1 and 3. Okay.
What I want is not what I think about.
What I want is not what I think about. Okay.
What I want is not what I'm talking about.
What I want is not what I'm talking about. Okay.
So I got to make sure those two are aligned. And so there's a strategy for that whenever you're ready.
Wow.
But so you have to ask yourself, how often am I pushing 1 and 3? And we're all guilty. Like I check myself. I'm like, here, get back over here and sit down. You need to listen to this.
I know that's right.
Yes, sit you down.
Okay.
Sit you down. So I have to sit myself down all the time.
Okay.
And say, okay, you know what? You're being a little dangerous right here. You're being a little Bambi-ish right here. You see lights and you're just running. You can't run to everything because that's dangerous.
That's true. That's true. So now that we're talking about purpose and vision and what I want, I'm not thinking about, and what also I need perhaps, or what I'd like to see, I'm not speaking, then what helps to counter that? Like what corrective actions can you use so that what you think about, you get, what you say, you actually can see, and then once you get the end of this manifestation, what do you do with it? How do you keep it?
That's that. I love that. And so, neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to heal, to change, and to grow. So changes in life all the time. You go outside. You don't even have to go outside these days. You can just go in the kitchen and pick up one of those knives that you just ain't decided to sharpen too often. And you go to, oh man, I got a little scratch here. It's not too bad, but you put a little Neosporin on it, and it's okay. Your brain sends chemicals throughout your body and says, hey, go heal that.
Okay.
Without you run to as humans, like you said, corrective action. I'm getting ready to, hoping I can correct it. I'm getting ready to run to Walmart and get some Neosporin or some peroxide and help it. Yeah. But before you even did that, your brain, right, which is your protective system, the brain is running all this, says, you know what? Stop focusing on that. Her stomach ain't been too right. Let's start focusing on that. There's a cut on the outside of that hand, and we need to fix that. I want all the neurons, all the atoms now to go focus on that. And you'll notice that as the brain is focusing and as you go get that Neosporin, it kind of expedites the healing.
That's true.
And so, yes, I love that. I love that. Yes.
That's true.
Come on.
Okay.
Follow the science.
That is the science.
Neuroplasticity.
Okay. So neuroplasticity, I am going to be asking questions for everyone listening that I have never scripted or written because I am not a med major. I fell asleep in psych. I was going to get a C in it. They said you could drop the class. I was like, okay, mic drop.
Yes.
So here comes my financial question related to health. It's going to be kind of messy. So neuroplasticity will help send what's needed to the place that needs to have the solution to help aid in possibly the benefit. Okay, where then do all these other intangibles, like we already talked about hope, but what about encouragement? I'm assuming that's an intangible. And what about these since you're in science and your credentials is in science, what about these happy drugs like
Dopamine.
yep, that's what I wasn't gonna say, dopamine, and the oxytocin.
Tocin.
Yeah, go ahead. You got this. You go ahead and run with that.
Yes.
So like, where do they fit in
Mhm.
before or even in addition to you applying the neosporin? Is it all just, one, two, three, or is there specifically a set scientifically that will allow for you to have so many things in a manifest that once you do one, two, three, four, five, six, you will instantly get 8?
Mhm. Mhm. I love that. Great question. Great question. And it causes that parasympathetic nervous system to kind of come down,
Mm.
right? Because science teaches us that anytime you do something new, your brain is just like, you just get all this energy. This is something new.
Okay.
We've never connected on this level before.
Okay.
And so brain is just floating all around and you can just feel that energy.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever noticed when you get around new people, you feel more optimistic, you feel, more attuned, you feel like you can, do things that you've never done before.
Okay.
It's because it's new. That's that dopamine. Dopamine is anytime you do something new. It's amazing. It's like when you get a new pair of shoes. What's wrong with the pair in the closet? They're all right. But you know what I'm saying? I got this new pair on today, I'm ready to flex with it.
Right,
so
right,
you pull
right.
your new shoes, you feel different. There's a different feeling when you get new shoes versus you put the shoes on that are in your closet. You walk different. You're even consciously aware of them. And so what would that be like if every day I did something new for my thinking?
Wait.
That land.
Wait. The plane is almost on the ground. One moment here. What happens if every day you do something new for your thinking?
Every day.
You would be renewing your mind.
Oh, girl. Okay, there you go.
Did I get it right, teacher?
Yeah.
Did I get it right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna need my candy or my sucker after this. So then, if a person stayed in a state of trying to constantly renew their mind, what would that look like while they're in a struggle? What would that look like as they're dealing with anxiety and mental health, or even dealing with depression? What would that look like, and how do they do it?
So we realize that renewal is a process, that it doesn't happen overnight. That's one thing that's new. It's kind of like when you buy those new shoes and they feel good in the store, but once you get them home, it's like, did the fit change? No.
That's
they
true.
got a little cold on the way there.
Yep.
Maybe they were warmer in the store because of the temperature, the climate in the store, right? And now you got them in home. They're in a different environment. And so let that land, because what's in our environment influences how we behave, how we experience our life, right? And so what's that change in the environment? Maybe in regards to dangerous thinking in the relationship now, what can I add to my relationship that's going to make it new? Make it feel like this is something that we haven't felt before. You know what? We're excited about this. You know what? I need something new quite often, every day, something that we're both doing
every
consistently that's going to bring that energy. Because when there's new energy, guess what? We're all attuned to it. It's kind of like that homeostasis part, like you mentioned, when there's no cuts, the body's like, oh, we're just going to focus on what's here.
Yeah.
Everything's okay.
Yeah.
She was talking about her stomach a little bit, but she seems okay now. You know what? Let's just relax. So you're talking about anxiety now.
Okay.
Right. We're walking into slowly the anxiety part of it.
Okay.
And so anxiety is relaxed because, things are kind of cool right now. But what happens when there's a shift? There's a change. There's a disappointment.
Right.
When there's a conflict.
Right.
Is there enough renewal? Is there enough newness? Is there enough dopamine in this relationship to sustain it? So for me, when I hear that there's a problem in the relationship, I'm thinking, dopamine is out. It's kind of like your prefrontal cortex, whenever there's stress, overwhelm, feeling inadequate, feeling alienated, the prefrontal cortex is like this. It's down. Here comes the amygdala. I'm online. I'm ready to send you some more stress. You ready? Here you go. Man, I'm feeling worse than I was when I first got up. Keep thinking about it. Keep thinking about it. Notice it's a pattern. The more we think about it, the more I feel more of what I feel, because feelings are not facts. If we want to walk into this anxiety, let's walk. Wow. But are we walking now? Let me know. We walking?
Wow. You said a lot. You said
because I know we only have an hour, and so I'm trying to pack.
That's right, girl. And your packing skills like Aldi, they be on fleek, especially when you don't want to pay for that bag. So you gotta carry all that stuff out. Okay, so the prefrontal cortex, you said, it deals with like strategy and decision making and all other stuff. And when we're overwhelmed, that shuts down. And you said the amygdala kicks in, but the amygdala is an instigator, and it doesn't do anything to soothe or iron it out. Instead, it just amplifies where you are. So then people who take prescriptions for anxiety or depression or long periods of being melancholy and blue, it is to turn off one and overstimulate the first one.
Yes. Wow. Because when you notice, when you take those antidepressants or medications, it's usually, they tell you at night or early in the morning. There's really no drama or stress going on late night or early in the morning. Right? Mm-hmm. And so your body gets used to that. Your body's used to, I make you feel even better right now. You're calm anyway. You know what I'm saying? And so then when you have the conflict, then when you have the duress, then when you have the challenge, the medication wasn't formulated for that. That's why I'm not trying to push against nobody's medication or anything. Medication is good, especially for us girlies that are in that peri. We need all the help we can do.
Are we gonna talk about perimenopause? Man, oh my God, I feel like that's a hot subject, but I think you was the right card for the game. Okay, so then is there a way for a person who has constant anxiety, for whatever the reasons that it stays persistent, for them to find something in the body to help regulate what they need so they don't have to take the drugs, or no?
Yes. I believe in science. I follow the science. And I believe that there's a correlation. There's, one thing cannot survive without the other. Okay. Just like water, you need hydrogen and oxygen to make water. And so I believe that there's, life requires, multiple interventions. It doesn't mean that there's nothing wrong with them. Doesn't mean that there's something broken with you. But number one, I feel like it's essential to tap into your energetic fields. This world is full of energy.
It is.
I love Albert Einstein. That man is amazing. He's one of the greatest leaders that show us that you can get past doubt. You can get past frustration. You can get past depression. Like he showed you. Like when you look at the science and all the many times his inventions failed, that didn't mean he was a failure. That doesn't mean it didn't work out for him. It just means that you have to keep trying different things. And when you look at the world and when you look at, science and everything, it's trying different things. And so, the medication is doing its job, but it's not as effective as I would want it to be effective. And so what can I do constantly, daily? So number one is starting with that core belief. The core belief is a destroyer. I love what you said. You said it, instigator, my advancement.
Mm-hmm.
It like impedes it. It impedes it. It encourages more difficulty. It encourages more insecurity. It encourages more inferiority. It encourages more discouragement. So I want to mitigate the instigator, that amygdala. And so how do I do that? Number one, I think, is tapping into your energetic fields. I do it quite often. I've been in some very difficult situations, had my own bout of anxiety. And I'm telling you, give the brain something to look forward to. How do you give the brain something to look forward to? You tap into your energetic fields. Science teaches us that there's 9, and this is science driven. You can look this up on the internet. There's 9 fields throughout this body that are just energetic. You could tell. Like, talk to some really interesting people, and all of it is, the knowledge is retained because it's understood, and then we're able to synthesize it, right, and then it's flowing out, right? And so the brain up here. Mm-hmm. This is number one. Mm-hmm. Tapping. A lot of people, I like to think of it as, a lot of people are like, ooh, especially when I'm in a session and I'm like, hey, do you believe in science? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you believe in energy? Oh yeah. Game changer. Do you believe that you can bring science and energy together using your own body? She's weird. They give you that look like, nah, no, you can't. Yes, you can. So the energetic fields, the head, the cheeks, the top of your lip, your chin, mm-hmm. your collarbone, side of your rib cage, left mm-hmm. side, right side of your rib cage, mm-hmm. and the side of your hand. Science teaches us, if you can do this every day with a positive cognition or a statement that attacks and attaches, thank you, brain, that attacks and attaches to that core belief that's negative, and you begin to tap that in, stimulate that energetic field, that those things that you want, they'll start coming towards you.
Okay, pause.
And the anxiety.
Wait, pause.
The anxiety will start to mitigate.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's my pause. Yeah. Okay, so.
Yes.
Okay, so give us the energetic fields again, because, when we listen to some people who have far deeper depth of things, we'd be like, oh, and then as we wind our mouth and our minds back up to catch up, then we realize the pen stopped writing. Okay, so what are those energetic fields again?
So it's the head.
Tap the head, you said?
Yes.
Tap the head, okay, okay.
Tap both cheeks simultaneously.
Okay. Tap both cheeks, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
The top of the lip simultaneously.
Tap the, mm-hmm. Okay. Tap top mm-hmm. lip. Mm-hmm.
The chin simultaneously.
Okay. So both hands are tapping the chin.
Yes.
Okay.
Both hands. And that's like a whole nother spiel. I'm not going to go into that. Yeah.
And this is, okay, I'm sorry. Tap both the chin. Okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
both hands with the chin. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Yes. The collarbone.
Really?
Yes.
With one hand or two hands? Do you do both of them? Like,
you can. I usually just do one though. Okay.
So,
but it would make sense that you would do both.
Tap fingers on the collarbone. Okay. What else we got?
Yeah. And the side of your rib cage, the left side.
Why the left?
You got to get the right too.
Oh,
so
okay.
if you're so for right-handed people, and thank you for bringing that to my attention.
Okay.
I apologize, lefties. But I'm a righty here, so
okay.
My right is my dominant, and so that's where I always, whatever your dominant side is, you're gonna tap with the opposite. And so for me, I'm a righty, so I always go to my left.
Okay. And what is that? What is all this tapping? I know it's releasing the energetic fields, but what?
So your brain can absorb what you just said. You start with that positive cognition. And if you that's like a whole nother spiel, but if you want to wrap this into dangerous thinking, because it's all about the thinking, right?
Yes.
I follow the thinking. That's the science I flow through.
So when you are at home, because I'm assuming you could do this in a meditative state too.
You don't even have to be meditative.
Really?
You could be heading to a meeting. You could be going to pick up some more dollars.
Okay.
Right? You can be, taking your kid to the daycare, or, going to the grocery store. Wherever you notice that those triggers are, that's a whole nother topic though, but you can wrap that into dangerous thinking, because it does affect your triggers too. The triggers, wherever I want to start tapping.
And you also mentioned having a core belief. So is the core belief something like an
We all
affirmation that
have core beliefs.
huh?
I'm sorry. We all have core beliefs.
Okay. But would it be something like I am intelligent, or like in your example, I'm going to land this account? Is that what you're tapping and thinking to awaken yourself or align your energy to manifest something spiritually?
So core beliefs,
Mm-hmm.
I believe, are beliefs that we're tied to. Science teaches us between the ages of 0 to 8 are your formative years. And so we've been programmed to believe, to accept, to endure some things you might not even necessarily agree with, and you don't know why you disagree with it. Maybe if you asked your core belief, tapped some more into that, really understood that part of you, then you would see why there's a conflict. There's a conflict because of your core beliefs. Like somebody's core belief could be, maybe they grew up in a home where they weren't praised, they weren't rewarded, they weren't encouraged, and so they grew up with a core belief thinking, I'm not good enough. Maybe you grew up in a home, those core beliefs, they show up everywhere. Maybe I have a whole list on core beliefs. That's like a whole nother story. We can break that down another day, another session or something.
I know that's right. Okay, so the core. So when you were mentioning tapping your inner and releasing your energetic fields, and you mentioned the places in which you've given us, when you're tapping this, are you reviewing your mantras or your core beliefs in your head? Or are you dismantling some of the negative core beliefs? Like what's happening mentally?
Right. So you start with a belief that you feel is applicable to you, one that you would want to overcome, one that you want to see change.
So give me an example.
One that you want to see move, one that you want to see, turn into something more positive. So for business owners, when I do business coaching, I'm like, what's the struggle with the business? And people might say something like, I want more clients. So is it a core belief that you think that you can't get more clients? What else is that tied to? And so let's challenge that.
That's really deep.
Because that means that belief is running in that medulla, and that belief can be triggered by some anxiety, because I do believe that situations kind of overlap each other.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, we all celebrated Thanksgiving, and you start with, your plate. It could be a little small plate. Just imagine this is the plate, and it's really small, and you got your greens, your corn, your tomatoes, whatever, and you put it. Notice how you put it in one part.
Yes.
It's all separate.
Yes.
But why, by the time you get to your seat, it just looks like everything's together?
It does.
It's blending, and that's how life is. Life be blending. Girl. They say life be lifing. No, I'll say life be blending. That's what's going on. When we got issues, I'm like, man, it's a lot of blending going on up in here. Okay. We need to find something that ain't blend in.
Okay.
Because ing, anytime you say that ing, that's the act of doing something. So somebody is not actively doing something, and I feel like I'm carrying all the work. I don't want to feel like that up in here.
So, like, I have also my audience members can't see her, but this is awesome. So I have also I think there was a part of a conversation I had with you where you were saying people in their 20s and 30s are engaged in this particular activity, and then people in their 40s to their 50s should be engaged in this activity, and then 50 to 60s. And if they're not on track for that activity, or maybe something around that narrative, then they believe as though they're unsuccessful or they're unaccomplished. Do you remember this conversation?
Yes.
Okay. Can we talk about what the gathering of nuts is for people 20s to 30s, what they should be focused on, and then 40 to 50, ideally, according to the science. And then
Yes.
also 50 to 60s.
Yes. So science teaches us that between the ages of 19 to 40, everybody is focused on intimacy and isolation.
19
That's
to
huge.
40. Intimacy and isolation. How can
Yep.
you be
And
intimate and isolate at the same time?
so, good question, because you can't have two truths can exist. I can feel intimate at moments and I can feel isolated, but when I leave this stage, one of them is going to be truer than the other. And
Okay.
so, if you got all your needs met between the ages of 19 to 40, you're going to feel loved and you're going to feel like, I really want to chase after love. This is important for me. If not, you're going to want to isolate. That's science. That's
Gotcha.
Erickson's stages of development.
Gotcha.
That's science. I mean, you can't refute the science. It's real.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
It's real. And so, yeah. And so with that stage, am I intimate or do I want to isolate? If you didn't feel real loved in that stage, then you know what? The fidelity I'm going to walk out from that stage is I'm going to isolate.
Gotcha.
And so then you move to, because that's 19 to 40. And so then we move to the 40 to 65, and that's generativity versus stagnation.
Generativity versus stagnation.
Yeah, generativity. You want to generate. You're looking for ideas. We're looking for energy. You want to make sure you're making an impact that is important to you, right? You want to make the impact, but if you don't make the impact, you feel stagnant. And so again, this dangerous thinking. What can I go back to not feel stagnant? Is to every day. What I suggest is you write down 3 things that, because right there you're noticing you're good. You're noticing all the things you will do, because 2 truths can't exist at the same time.
Okay.
And I can generate some ideas and I can generate some energy, but do I feel stagnant in that day too? If that core belief is still running, if it's still spinning really, really high, and I haven't tapped into my energetic fields, right, with a positive word to kind of counteract that negative belief, then that means that my triggers are up high. And that means I'm focusing on them.
You're focusing on your triggers.
You're focusing on your triggers and not on, if you're in that stage between 40 to 65, what can I do to, generate some hope, generate some action in somebody so they can see advancement in their sales. Does someone feel secure? Does someone feel loved? Does someone feel needed? Does someone feel enough? You'd be amazed the things you can generate that we underestimate.
Okay, 2 things. My God, I'm running out of paper here. Okay, so 2 things. One is, you said every day you should write down, and I didn't get what we should write down.
Three things that anything you did good,
Write down 3 things.
For some people good. That you mentioned anxiety, depression is really huge. I mean, that is a real phenomenon. Like, not going to discount that at all. It is real. Depression is real. And so, what's 3 things you can do to every day to notice your good, to notice your growth, to notice your momentum? Because depression says, just sit where you are. It's enough. Just be where you are. You're fine where you are, but you don't feel fine where you are. And so what happens when, I take the initiative and I focus on what I can do? And what I can do is I'm going to write down 3 things that I've done. Maybe it's opening the blinds. Maybe it's making my bed. Tell me why you feel better when you made your bed. Tell me why you feel better when you lift up the blinds. Tell me why you feel better when you send a text message to somebody. Tell me why. Why? Because you're doing something. It's the act of doing something, right? And it's dopamine. Anytime dopamine is not only for things you do new, but dopamine is the act of doing something. And that's what depression wants to do. It's counteracting. It's all about counteracting those dangerous thoughts. And so whenever I'm feeling like I'm blue, I'm feeling like I'm low, what can I do? And I need to notice what I'm doing, because, my brain, again, that prefrontal cortex is offline. So only the amygdala. When I start writing down what I'm doing, I bring my prefrontal cortex, which is my decision-making brain, I'll bring it back online, and then I start noticing that.
So let's spin this around to financial health. What can people do? What can people do right now if they find themselves having a unsuccessful year, or if they find themselves stuck in a cycle where they cannot seem to advance financially to where they need to be comfortable. What can they do? And then is there something they can do mentally or with the energetic fields or with hope or with encouragement that will get them there?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So number one, we start with, dangerous thoughts. And so we go back to noticing the good. What what did work out? What was abundant? What was unexplained?
Gotcha.
What was amazing? What did feel good? Mm-hmm. What about if you had a conversation, even if you recorded it on your phone, because I do that sometimes too, mm-hmm. and I'll just talk about all the good I saw this year. And I just replay it back, and sometimes I can't even listen to the whole thing because I be feeling like this, like, man, that was good, mm-hmm. and that was your own juice. You got energized. You felt better from your own juice. You didn't have to go pop no Saloxatam or sertraline or Zoloft. You felt better from your own juice. It starts within. I believe healing starts within, and it's all about telling this brain what you want.
Okay.
So 3 things I like to do every day is, sometimes I'll even just write down, what I'm looking for, what I'm expecting. If it doesn't go out, what's something else? I give my brain 3 different options to look for.
Okay.
So what's some, and you can use it, for, if your thing is not God, maybe you're just the universe. Maybe I'm just an energy. Okay. So I'm looking for, for God to bless me with 3 things. What 3 things am I looking for? Something that's good, something that's abundant, God, what's something that's going to make my life feel really easy today? I'm looking for that.
Should we look for easy though?
Every day I write that down. I keep a journal, like 11/21. So like 12/7, I'm going to write that, because today 12/7. Yeah, today's 12/7. Oh, I'm a little behind. Yeah, but 12/7, I'm going to write, Lord, what can I do that's going to show me something good? Because the brain, again, when there's stress, when there's anxiety, when there's depression, it's not going to notice that good. It literally is, like you said, is an instigator, and it just blocks it out. So you're not even focusing on it. I've even heard people say, like a glass half filled. What end are you looking out of? What end are you looking out of? It makes a big difference when you begin to let your brain know and you start writing it down. And will it seem silly at first? Absolutely. But tell me the person that went to the gym, and they walked out of there 5 seconds later and they were all buff and they were all, so feeling so amazing, whatever, or the person that decided, I want to start, eating healthy. I'm going to stop eating meat. There might be some relapses in there.
Sure. It happens.
But consistency. Science teaches us that the key to any kind of advancement is consistency. Nobody learns how to tie their shoes, even if you're 5 years old. Nobody learns how to tie their shoes in 5 seconds. But it's consistency.
For sure.
That's neuroplasticity right there.
Whew. Okay. All right. Well, that was amazing. Wow. Listeners, replay this back. Take your time to digest these notes. Kyra has proven herself to be a person who has lived the life, who has taken what people have said, have tried to apply it, has found her own rhythm, and now she is in amazing stride. Her business is Salt Consulting Services. Is that what it is? What is it? Tell us what it is.
Salt Counseling Solutions.
Salt Counseling Solutions. Okay, and what's the website?
www.saltcounselingsolutions.com.
Okay, and we're gonna put that in the information down below. Thank you so much to everyone listening. This has been amazingly edifying, and you can reach Kyra online at Kyra at Salt counseling.solutions.com. Check me out on www.onegingles.com. Let's continue to have meaningful conversations that will impact our life.